Hi, this is Enjoy the Bounty of Planning with Tanisha Taylor. So, we are going to talk today about moving your class online. Whether you are a graduate student, first of all, if you're a graduate student teaching in this moment, I just want to hug you because I know this is stressful and it's a lot going on, it's a lot of changes. And especially if you're not teaching online or you don't normally teach online, there's a lot going on in this moment that's going to be hard to manage, and you're going to be asked to do a lot of extra things. And later on in this video, we might talk a little bit about how to navigate that, whether you are a graduate student, lecturer, an adjunct, a pre-tenure, or post-tenure faculty. So, there's going to be a little bit of that as well. So I put online earlier this week in one of my social media networks some free tips and some free advice for faculty who are moving online. And throughout the week, my university has made some particular changes. Other universities have made particular changes around this. So I wanted to actually create a little bit of a video to kind of help folks out. So my number one thing is recording your lecture. Recording your lecture is about equity. Not all of your students are going to be well. Some of them are going to be sick. Some of them aren't going to be focused. Some of them are just not going to be able to access a live class the way that they used to, especially if they, like some of you, have children that are also now at home, right? I don't have small children, but I seem to understand that small children are awake at 10:30 in the morning, alive and well at 10:30 in the morning. Sometimes they're most talkative little selves at 10:30 in the morning. And that might be when your class is supposed to take place. So you might be thinking to yourself, what am I to do with these children who can't go to school, right? Or how am I going to do this live lecture? And maybe if your kids are old enough to understand that mommy or daddy is at work, even though you're in the house and they can see you, if they're old enough to understand that their parent is at work, you have an at-home office space where you can close the door and do your live lecture, then fantastic. If not, then you need to think about what that actually means for you. And so it might be better to just record the lecture and then post it up later for everybody. Keep recordings short. So this is 1A. Keep recording shorts. In a previous post earlier in the week, I said your recording should be 30 minutes. But that was my privilege talking. I've been teaching online, either 100% or partially online for 15 years. I have a lot of the things that you need to make a 30-minute lecture work. But if you're moving online for the very first time, you probably don't have those things. So do not let this become a thing, right? And what I mean by that is don't let it stress you out. So what does that mean? That means that you have to make sure and keep your lectures to 5 minutes, because 5 minutes is probably about the amount of storage space for a video that your university provides within the university's learning management system. If you have a Dropbox account that's big enough to hold large video files, if you have university server space that's large enough to hold large video files, if your university is providing that space now for you, go ahead and by all means create a 30-minute video. But if you don't have those technological infrastructures to make that work, then don't stress yourself out about this. Give yourself a 5-minute video, plan and figure out exactly what needs to go in that video. What are the most important things you want your students to understand or to gather from the lecture? Record that, post it up, and go with God. All right. Number 2, if your campus uses Blackboard actually has a lot of internal tools like Blackboard Collaborate. If your university is also providing that, go ahead and use that. A lot of universities are using their Zoom contracts and moving to that. But if your university isn't one of those campuses, then go ahead and use the tools that they've given you. I wouldn't put a lot of time and energy into buying new tools. If you have tools, use what you have, use what your university is providing, and stay within those frameworks. If you're using Blackboard Collaborate, you can record those. It's great for student meetings. You can set the student meetings up in advance and you can record those as well. Just make sure that you're letting everyone know that they are being recorded. If you're using Blackboard, one of the benefits is, from my understanding, or at least this is true at my university, those recordings are saved on Blackboard server, so you don't have to worry about saving space, right? So number 3, make sure many of the internet providers are giving either free space to students or they are giving like reduced prices and things like that. They are suspending data overages that are parts of contracts. They're suspending late fees that are parts of internet service contracts and things like that. So go ahead and make sure that you take a moment and check that stuff out and see what your provider might have for you. All right. Let's see. Next, we have number 4. From now on, use your university's LMS. Like, I feel like I can't stress that enough. If you have not been using your university's learning management system up until now, if you're one of those people who has like all they've done is put the syllabus online because that's all your university required before for engagement with the university learning management system, break yourself of that habit. That is just don't do that anymore. Learn the system, whether it is Angel or Canvas or Blackboard or Moodle or whatever they're using, use it, right? Learning management systems can do so much for your face-to-face class life, right? So I said that I've been teaching online for in some way for the past 15 years. It's been longer than that I've been using the LMS for whatever university I was working for in order to collect assignments in my face-to-face classes. So in my face-to-face classes, all of my assignments are due on, right now I'm at a university that uses Blackboard. All of my assignments are due on Blackboard. I don't take anything from my students that's not on Blackboard, which means that if they don't submit it there, then their paper's late, right? And that's really, really important because it means that my students know, because they know I don't take late work. And so it really helps them to make sure that they're submitting everything on time. So use your learning management system if for no other reason than to take assignments. All of my assignments are due on a day that's not a class day. So right now I'm teaching a graduate class that meets on Mondays. Their assignments are typically due on the Friday of that week. So I teach on Monday, their assignments due on Friday, which means they have time to come to class, ask me questions. We can go through some drafting of work throughout the week, and then it's due on Friday. And so that really helps with that drafting process. It really helps with students being able to ask questions and get those questions answered in class. Now, since you're going online, and a lot of universities are going online from like now until whenever, think about what this also will mean when this crisis is over in terms of how it's going to help your pedagogy. If all of your assignments are due online, if you're attending conferences, or I live in an area that has hurricanes, and the current university and the previous university have both closed early in the semester because of storms, right? I've been able to still continue teaching and be able to have students get content even when I'm gone at a conference, if the university is closed for storms or right now in terms of a pandemic. And it makes it a little bit more of a manageable lift to go online, because the only thing that I need to figure out how to get online now is the actual lecture content. Now, I'm a department chair who can make a decision about how my faculty are going to go online, and the decision I made for my faculty is 1,000 words. You need to have a 1,000 word lecture. 1,000 words is not a lot. I mean, for academics, it's not a lot. If you wrote out your lecture word for word in an hour and 20 minutes, you said more than 1,000 words. 1,000 words is more than you can get in a 5-minute video, unless you talk really, really fast. But 1,000 words really gets it done in terms of giving your students a point of entry for the lecture. So write that up as either a PowerPoint or a bulleted lecture notes along with your video. Put that up on your learning management system and you're set to go. All right, we're rounding the 11-minute mark in this video, so I wanted to keep this about as long as I think a lecture should really be at its maximum length, and so we're starting to hit into that space now. Point number 5. This is not about perfection. You are not going to win a teaching award for how well you put your class online during a pandemic. There's not a teaching award for that. Give yourself a break. Take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. And remember, the goal here is not perfection. The goal here is degree integrity. Degree integrity means that the university wants to be able to say that even though there was a crisis, the university performed well in that crisis. They were able to maintain discipline and degree integrity within every learning area. We all have accreditors that we have to think about. We all have assessment stakeholders. We all have, we might have state stakeholders for those of us who are working at state universities, but we all have discipline stakeholders, people that want to know that whatever students are supposed to learn within a particular discipline is what students learned in that discipline, whether the instruction happened online or off. So think about that. And the way that you need to think about that is you need to read your own syllabus. Read your syllabus and figure out what are the things that are necessary in order to meet your learning objectives. What are the things that are sort of great but aren't required? And then what are the things that are just pure desire and fantasy on your part? Get rid of the last two. Right? If it's great, but it's not required, or it really does boil down to pure absolute fantasy on your part, get rid of that. You don't have time for that this semester now because this is not the structure for that, right? And really honestly focus in on those learning objectives and making sure you're meeting your learning objectives because that's what the university is going to be looking for going forward. All right? Number 6, if you have technology concerns, you don't have a university laptop, you don't have a web camera, you don't have a mic, you have slow internet service because you bought a farm out in the country somewhere and you love that farm and you want to stay there, but the internet service is crap, which you never really cared about because you weren't teaching online. If those are real concerns for you, you need to let your department chair know that you as the instructor have limited access to technology. That if you don't have a university laptop, but you have a personal laptop that's more than 5 years old, and you're noticing that there's starting to be like some issues with being able to go online a lot, you need to go ahead and let your department chair know that. Again, if you don't have a webcam and your university is requiring videos, you need to let the university know what your access to resources are at home if you're going to have to do this from your home with your personal equipment. Now, your department chair might not be able to solve this problem for you. They might not be able to get you a university laptop or an iPad or something like that in the next couple of days or week. But if they, and I hope you have a good and decent and honest department chair who will work with you to brainstorm some possible workarounds and solutions for how you can deliver your content if all you really have is a fairly decent laptop and an internet connection, or how you might even be able to deliver this content if you don't have a home desktop, laptop, or iPad and all you really have is a cell phone. How can you deliver your content anyway? Now, I will say, if all you have is a cell phone, a lot of cases, all our students have is a cell phone too. So it means that it really, in some ways, puts you in a really equal place with them. And it allows you to really think about number 5 and how you can make sure that you're maintaining degree integrity and giving people the education that they signed up for as close to what you intended to provide as possible. All right. Now, number 7 and 8, learn from your training, attend your LMS training, your Zoom training, whatever tech training your university is providing. Become your best undergraduate self and really pay attention to the training and learn it, right? Take notes if you have to. Get emails for the people that you need to have emails from so that you can contact them when you have questions, and really just become your best undergraduate self and really learn this, because it'll save your life later on when the pandemic is over and regular teaching has resumed. You're going to start to integrate these tools into your regular face-to-face classes in a much better way. All right. Now, last thing, number 8, and then we're going to be done. This is not an ideal situation. I'm going to repeat it for the kids in the back. This is not an ideal situation. Remember that this is your job or it's your career. And for some of us, it is in fact a calling and we're very passionate about it, but it's not your whole entire life. Okay? Teaching is not your whole entire life. You have friends and family and loved ones that want you in their life. They want you healthy. They want you present. They want you here. Okay? Which means in order to do that, you can't let teaching be everything you're doing for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Put that in the box where it belongs, right? Focus on maintaining harmony in your life in this situation, in this not at all ideal place. Focus on creating and maintaining that harmony. Focus on creating and maintaining those boundaries of time and space, and creating and maintaining boundaries between work time and family time so that you can really be the best possible version of yourself in this not at all ideal time, right? Think about how you're going to do this in a way that meets your students where they are, that protects them and that protects you, all right? Now, go out and enjoy the bounty of your new teaching scenario. We're going to have some other videos on planning and maintaining a research agenda. And again, not at all ideal time. All right. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. Hit that notification bell so that you'll know when there's new content. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day. Enjoy the bounty. Bye.